and positioning ourselves from a very low income economy now to a transition economy in this day and age. And our progress seems to be on a trajectory of growth, but for us to maintain that growth, and for us, and when I say us, I mean our private sector companies. Companies compete, governments don't compete. That's why this document is emanating from the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And in today's world, with a population of around 700,000, 750,000, our firms need to look globally for markets. Domestic markets aren't sufficient for any company to be competitive, and in this globalized world, the international arena is the market. So Guyana and our private sector, we need to identify some key areas of weaknesses that poses the most challenge to our private sector, and to reduce those weaknesses or those barriers to ensure that our companies are globally competitive. The private sector, under the Private Sector Commission, especially under the Commission, because the Commission is the umbrella organization or the aggregate of all the other sectoral, including the Chamber of Commerce, which we're a member of. I think we need to be more vocal, or the Private Sector Commission has to be more vocal to government and to the other stakeholders. But I believe, again, I always say everything starts with leadership. So more so towards government in terms of ensuring that we establish initiatives, institutions that benefit the country as a whole. In terms of the perception that the private sector might not be as forceful, I can't speak to the veracity of that. But I can tell you the Private Sector Commission plays a very important role. And they have been playing a very important role. Some of it you don't see publicly, most of it is behind the scenes in terms of real engagements. You know, the press and the media would see a press release and think that's the sum total of governments or the private sector engagement with government. That's not it. But I've seen, in my years, I've been a private sector operative in terms of the chamber here. I've been in 8 years. And in the 8 years, I've seen the Private Sector Commission avert many national disasters, or issues that could have become national disasters behind the scenes, and very little or no publicity towards them. But again, no, to answer your questions, both of you guys, yes, I think the Private Sector Commission, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce, and all the private sector organizations need to do more and to say more to government to enact. And looking at our 20 barriers to implement and reduce some of these barriers that we have affecting our industry. Again, we need to be more forceful by telling our government to diversify the economy and not just to say it at an opportune time and then we do nothing about it. Also to be more open, forceful and engaging with the government when it comes to issues of transparency and accountability.